What's he got? He's got 10 plays for 23 yards. I thought he had more than that. Whoa, who's got the ball? Hazel Park's got the ball.
Now, I think they intended to do that. It was a rather odd-looking little kick, onside type kick.
Let's see this.
I do think that he attempted to do this because he just scooped it off his foot, and he shot a little pop up there, and it surprised Berkley. And now Hazel Park not only did score, but they have the ball on the Berkley 45-yard line. It was a good little onside kick. Unusual style of onside kick.
First and 10 from the 45. They're into Berkley territory. You're looking at Jeff Eddy, the quarterback. And it's going to be the simple wishbone. And
it's the mud guy. I don't know who that is.
They're right in the heavy part of the mud on the field now.
That looks like Newman. He does look heavy now that I see him. He does look like he weighs around 200 pounds.
Newman's averaging 2.3 yards a carry. Just fire plug type football right here.
Well, basically that last drive that they made for the touchdown, they were getting 2 and 3 yards, and when they mixed in that one sweep for about 25, that's what did it for them.
2 minutes, 12 seconds, clock counting here before the close of the first half. Hazel Park with an 8-0 lead, and it looks like a fumble, and on the ball is Berkley. We haven't got the sign yet. Yes, we do.
Berkley recovered. Big break. Big break. The quarterback kept that, I do believe, and it just must have squirted out of his hands because it was underneath the pile.
Well, you know, now the ball could be a little slippery, but they wipe it off after every play. But I think more importantly, the jerseys get slippery too.
The jersey gets all muddy, and you try to hold it against it, and it just came out. I really didn't see the fumble, but they just went. It was down at the bottom of the pile. Now we'll see what Berkley does to try to get something on the scoreboard here with 1:43.
And they're on their own 43-yard line. Here's a pass by Miles, way over the head of Zakowski.
Trevor, for kind of a little guy, has a good arm. It was almost too good that time, but he got it out there, which shows that at least the Hazel Park defense that he can throw deep, so they'll have to think about that now.
Well, there's Steve Zakowski, just a tremendous player for Berkley, talking to Pat Fox. I was talking to Pat Fox before the game, and he says, you know, we've got a real luxury here. He says, we've got a 4-point student at quarterback in Trevor Miles, and this is a smart kid. So he says, therefore, we're giving him the opportunity. 30% of the plays might be audibles based on whether the defense sets up. So they're giving the young guy a lot of responsibility.
Oh, it certainly is. And he's a junior, too. That is a lot of responsibility for a junior quarterback.
Second 10. Burks cautiously going around end, gives a little deep, breaks one. He's out of bounds on the 46-yard line. And look at that mud. Boy, that's fun. That's like having a fumble drill.
Yeah, this is Jeff Burks again at his favorite play and what he does best. He puts a little move on the outside linebacker and powers his way up the field. He's very strong, very deceptive, and very, very fast.
Great replay, guys. You got to use that for the opening clip sometime. Jeff Burks.
Jeff Burks now weighs 300 pounds, though. That's the problem.
Great day. You love to play these games, I'll tell you. This is great. Miles keeps the ball. He's going to pass, puts it in the air. Has Zakowski. Dive for it, catch it.
Excellent.
The clock's still running. There's only 1:23 to go. They've got to move the chains. He was inbounds when he landed.
Well, here's Berkley passing. Trevor Miles gets the ball out there. Very nice. Just an excellent catch in the mud and everything else by Steve Zakowski. It's really a fine play from the quarterback and the reception. And it finally puts Berkley into Hazel Park territory where they haven't been all night.
The ball on the Hazel Park 30-yard line. Be first and 10 with 1:23 on the clock. I think more importantly is the clock right now.
Yes, this is a big
You've got to...
Berkley will really have to pass now. They just don't have the time to run.
And it's going to be a run right up the center, and it's good for about 8 yards. The ball at 9 yards, count it, and a ball carrier was number 40, Ed Ashcroft. Timeout, Berkley.
Good run by Ashcroft. Ashcroft is a junior. He's a very good runner, a very good straight-ahead runner. He's not real big, but he's strong, and he's rather fearless.
Rather fearless. That's an interesting statement because you got to have that type of moxie and fearlessness to play this game.
Oh, yes. Some players are a little too deceptive. But you see these guys, and Kenny Carson's another one, too. Kenny isn't very big, but he'll just run straight ahead. Now, even if you run straight ahead, sometimes good things will happen to you. And sometimes you'll get killed, too. But that's a football player's life.
You got to dodge some bullets sometimes. You got to move right to left on occasion. Well, 8-point deficit, minute 9 on the clock before halftime.
Well, the pass from Trevor Miles to Steve Zakowski was an eye-opener for Hazel Park, as it opened up their defense, and that's why that run worked so well on the last play, because it shows that Berkley can throw, and they can throw long, and they can catch the ball.
Yeah, you've got to get those linebackers thinking about something else. Both the outside, inside linebackers thinking about something else. And those little flare passes can do that, open up your running game a little bit on the inside. Ashcroft still the lone setback. Gives it to Burks. Burks powering his way for a first down.
I'm a little surprised they ran there because the clock is being eaten up there.
It'll be
they did get the first down. That's
no huddle offense. Berkley already setting up. The ball resting on the, let's say the 17-yard line.
It's a good drive. Yeah. It started deep in Berkley territory, and they moved the ball very well.
Minute to go. We've got 60 seconds on that clock.
They'll have to pass now.
And it is a pass. Trevor is going to have to run. He gives a little deep, gets two.
Got out of bounds, I think.
10-yard line, and he got out of bounds.
Got out of bounds. That was most important that he got out of bounds there, because the clock would have gone down to about 20 had he not.
Great camera work. I think that's Nick Auger's camera we're looking at now on the field. Well, this is be great to go into halftime with a score.
Oh yes, that would be a tremendous break for Berkley to come back late in this period, trailing 8-0 and moving about 60, 70 yards down the field in the last seconds. I would look for Zakowski and Trevor Miles to try to connect here.
Miles keeps the ball. He's up inside the 10.
Well,
timeout Berkley. 41 seconds on the clock. That'll give Berkley a first down. I think I might have spoke too soon on the first down. It'll be third.
It's third and about 2, I think.
Third and 2.
But the time is more critical than the downs almost now. It's 41 seconds, and Berkley may be out of timeouts now. Rich, do you have the timeouts figured out? They may have one left. I'm not sure.
I don't know if they've got one left. I think that's it.
They're out of, yeah, okay. That's a critical point right now, that they don't have any timeouts. So if they don't get out of bounds, or if they throw a complete pass that isn't, it could eat up the clock in 2 plays.
Well, we're 41 seconds away from halftime. Please stay tuned, because the halftime ceremonies by the band, you get to see the King and the Queens, representative grade levels. Big dance over here tomorrow night.
Well, I'll go back to my prediction on the last play. I will say that Trevor Miles will be looking for number 24, Steve Zakowski, on this play.
I think Steve in the corner.
Yes, I think that's what they'll try to do. They'll loft it up there and try to get it in.
Steve's low to the left. He slips. And when Zakowski went to take off from the line, he did slip, and it caused him to stutter step, and therefore the ball was way overthrown.
Well, that was the play. He was Trevor was trying to loft the ball into the end zone and have Zakowski jump, and he's a good jumper. I guess against Kimball, the winning touchdown, he just out-jumped the defense, and that's what they were trying to do there, but he didn't get out.
I saw that winning touchdown 3 times. And I don't know how he even saw the ball. Going around in, get your first down. Line it up, 34 seconds to go.
But I do believe now Berkley is out of timeouts.
They've got their first down. Berkley's lining up. They've got to move the chain, so that stops the clock.
Stop the clock momentarily. They're on the, the 9-8.
Now the clock starts again with 28 seconds and counting. It's down to 25. And they give it to
Ashcroft,
but I don't know.
Running straight ahead.
They're running out of time. Why do that? Do I have that play? I don't know.
I just understand. I guess they figured they'd fool him. But this will be the last
9 seconds
play
on the clock. They do get another play off. And it's another running play. Burks wants it. He gets it. He wanted it bad.
3 seconds on the clock.
Burks does it, the 205-pound senior.
Yes, that was an unusual call there with just seconds to go on the clock. In fact, they did have him stopped, but Jeff, using his speed and his power, broke the tackle and pulled his way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And you can tell Jeff having a little bit of problem with his footing because he seems a little bit extra careful of making that cut. But I thought...
well, Jeff had a sprained ankle earlier in the season, and it bothered him for the first few games, and it's still man.
A lesser halfback would have been down on the 3-yard line.
Yeah, he would have been down on the initial contact, but Burks runs very hard. He bounced off 2 or 3 tackles and just slid his way into the end zone.
Berkley's going to try for the 2-point
6-8 the score, and we've got a whistle. And Miles running for his life, and the referee's blowing the whistle.
I thought I heard a whistle.
That was 10 plays for 57 yards for the 6-point Berkley score. And Hazel Park taking a timeout.
It was a great drive by Berkley, featured really by the catch of Zakowski. I think that not only gained 25 yards on the play, but it turned Berkley on and made them believers in themselves, which is very important.
Well, some pretty exciting football over here. Both teams 1-5, but you wouldn't know it the way they're playing on the field today.
Now, as we said earlier in the game, that the 1-5 situation makes for a lot of intensity. It's a very important game. As time is running out on the season, and respectability is everything now, particularly for the seniors. They do not want to lose another game on either side.
Berkley heard the whistle, but I guess it wasn't quite loud enough. So we've got the timeout, Hazel Park, and this extra point with the way these two teams have been thrashing in the mud is very important.
Oh, very important, because if the conditions won't get any better, although we've been lucky, it has stopped raining. It really hasn't been raining during the game, which would have made it miserable, and they've done a good job. There really haven't been any significant errors because of the weather.
Both teams ready to go for this extra point.
I'd look for Miles on a rollout pass.
Well, Miles has the ball, whistles again.
Penalty on the play.
And Burks looks like he would have scored.
Illegal procedure against Berkley.
Legal procedure against Berkley. It was a well-designed play.
The whistle blew early, though. It's what they call dead ball foul, so everybody stopped on it.
Everybody stopped, but Hazel Park got to see what Berkley was thinking about.
Yeah, that's what I thought they'd do, too. Had Miles roll out. The pass was to Burks, and I'm a little surprised they don't throw to Burks more, because if he's just, he gets out into the flat and catches the ball with some open areas. Very dangerous runner. Now they look.
There's the play, another pass, roll out the same way. In trouble, Miles is, looks downfield. Oh, it's coming out of nowhere. Hazel Park.
I think there may be a roughing the passer call back there.
And Miles looks hurt. He's holding his hand. Looks hurt. But he wants to play. They're going to get another chance at it. Miles is running for his life back there.
Yeah. It was an unnecessary foul by Hazel Park because he'd already released the ball. But the flag came in the direction of the quarterback, and I do believe it was unnecessary roughing.
Hazel Park gets it called, so it's going to be short yardage situation, but still, I think through the air is going to be the way for Berkley to score this.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing now. They've gone back and forth on the penalties. This is the third or fourth extra point. They should give them 6 points for this, for trying this many times.
Miles again, the quarterback, looked like he was rattled.
Yeah, he hurt his hand a bit, but he's tough.
On that. Miles has it. He's going to put it in the corner. Zakowski there. It's tipped away. That looks like Steve.
Very nice defensive play. If they could have thrown it just a couple yards deeper, he would have caught it. But the Hazel Park defense secondary man got there in a hurry and knocked it down. Good play.
So the score is going to stay at 6-8, Hazel Park over the Berkley Bears, as we've got 3 seconds left before halftime.
that had to be a huge touchdown for Berkley to score with 3 seconds in the half, down 8-0, and not having much offense until that last drive.